So, very good morning to everyone and namaste to all. We will start with our releases for why, in spite of understanding and in spite of knowing, it's such a huge tendency in each one of us to keep on overthinking. We have received the feedback from many of you, so we will see where we will be able to cover up whatever points you have raised. Whoever has not sent, like it doesn't matter, it is still, it applies to you. So you also still continue doing it. But it is always better if you send your query because then during releases, that part can be covered. Yeah. So to begin, everyone knows you can take any hand, you can tap, or you can rub your karate chop. Yeah. And whatever I say, like either you can repeat it or you listen to it completely as whatever I am saying without paying attention to anything else. And whenever I ask you to do breathing, it is on your thymus point. This is your thymus point, ideally. So you put both your hands there. Clear? Okay. Although, as much as I understand and as much as I know that constantly being in a thought process about anything, what I term as overthinking or what people think as overthinking. Probably there are times when I visit the doctors or my family members or friends. They tell me that you think too much and that is causing you problems. Or there are times I'm being aware and I realize that it would be nice where without me constantly thinking about it, if I can simply, without procrastinating, take steps in my life and move further in my life. But in spite of wanting to do it, in spite of understanding it, I am unable to do that. And that makes me feel. Please complete the sentence. How does that make you feel? I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Although I am completely unaware. From the time I was born, we are still learning how to think, how to analyze, as our analytical skill is one of our biggest asset. And from there, what programming did I receive from my surrounding? May that be through my parents, may that be through others, may that be through my schooling, my education, that got me in the habit of overthinking about it and knowing and realizing overthinking always leads to anxiety, stress, and it's a vicious circle that I get trapped into. I knowingly, unknowingly converted my biggest asset into my liability. And I do not know why am I not being able to move beyond that and be more of a productive and action oriented person rather than constantly thinking whether it is right or whether it is wrong. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest, 7 deep breath. Breathe in through the nostril, all the positive energy. Breathe out through the mouth, all the negative energy. Although, if I have to measure my overthinking on the frequency of 0 to 10, where 0 is no overthinking and being in balance and being calm, and 10 is maximum overthinking, probably I overthink on the frequency of. Is decide the number at what you overthink. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Although I sometimes think that because I think about others and I feel that if I will do some action, I will speak in a particular way, if I will do something, I may hurt someone may feel bad about it. And I want to show my best self to others and I want to portray my best self to others. And in that fear, I probably go on thinking and thinking whether how I should do it, whether I should do it or not, to the level that I have even forgotten what I really want. My thought process begins only from what others would like and what others would like also from my level of understanding and not from others' level of understanding because no one can read others' mind. It is only our assumptions what others will like. And that's why, like, constantly I get stuck because I'm constantly thinking what I will do, whether it will be fine for others or not. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself from procrastinating and ignoring myself and for not being able to connect to my own self and for wanting to be a people pleasing personality. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Although a part of me always fears being a failure. So I have a constant need to judge myself and being too judgmental about myself. Always wanting to be a people pleasing person and want to do it for others rather than thinking and having clarity of what I want and simply taking steps. Because any failure or success comes at much later stage, even as per the definition of the human psychology or mentality. You can call somebody as being successful or a failure, whether it's a businessman once they have run the business for a few years, or whether a homemaker, or whether a student. You cannot tell a KG student that you failed or you are successful. That happens when they have graduated, they have utilized their skills. It takes years of investment. Imagine people stopping themselves from taking action at the time they are still in nursery and KG and thinking, but what if I take this subject and it will help me or not? But what if I will not be using my thing? But what if my teacher would be bad? But what if it will be costing too much of amount to my parents? But what if that? The entire world would have remained uneducated if people would have thought. If people would have thought so much about before eating food, before drinking water, before doing getting up, before walking. But what if I will fall down? But what if this will happen? But what if people don't like how I walk? But what if people don't like how I dress? People don't like how I eat. Life becomes miserable and nothing else than that. The judgment of being success and being a failure is somewhere deep rooted within me. Knowing or unknowingly not realizing that it is very relative. If what is failure for someone is success for somebody else. And it does not matter because every failure teaches us how to be successful. Without that, without not knowing what not to do, how do we get to know what is it that I want to do? Because only and only that brings clarity. When a student is learning history, geography, biology, chemistry, physics, math, science, languages in the school, it's not the failure from their system or from the child at the time they are in the school when they choose to master in a one particular subject. It is what makes them as a person and brings them clarity. What are they liking and disliking, and where do they want to put their energies more? And we never ever consider that as a failure, fear of failure, and that's why I don't go to school. Then why is it that in my life I get stuck to fear of failure so much that rather than being an action oriented person and being proud of myself and taking actions, I get stuck there. I don't know what part of me is still making me procrastinate and what part of me is not allowing me to simply take actions, because taking actions is overruling overthinking by default and automatically, and is the best solution for overthinking. And accepting that in that frame of time and using the thinking capacity to know how to make it better, but without having to procrastinate, then we are balancing our left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And then I am balancing my intuition and my intellect better than before. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest, 7 deep breath. Breathe in through the nostril, all positive energy, without any need in you to procrastinate. Breathing in, create his understanding of life. Breathing out, your understanding of life. Breathing in, light. Breathing out, darkness and fear. So rub your karate chop again and say, although I am in so much of clutter, and this mental clutter, emotional clutter, financial clutter, physical clutter, wherever there is a clutter, I am responsible for that. Somewhere I created it and I feel stuck and do not know how to come out of this clutter, how to declutter myself and establish complete clarity. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I still choose to deeply and completely heal and integrate that part of me. Although God has gifted us beautiful intuition, the intuition which is the reflection of the divine in me, which is aware and powerful enough to know more than what I know. That consciousness from my intuition is at much higher level. The minute I start listening to my intuition, I start listening to my higher self as well, my angel guides as well. And the minute I allow my intuition to guide me, which is always guiding me, but the minute I allow myself to listen to my intuitive voice and use my intellect to understand how to put my intuition into execution, allow myself to bring back the alignment, let go of the fear, and to be in synchronicity with my highest self and creator of all that is, without overdoing, without underdoing anything, to just be in balance. Any part of me being unable to do that, I surrender and choose that part of me to be integrated with my spiritual self, to be healed and integrated with my spiritual self, to let my spiritual self look after it, and to love and accept myself for who I am, what I am, how I am, to heal and integrate the healed part of me. Put the hands on your chest, 7 deep breath, breathing in all the positive energy, breathing out all that is blocking you. Now, I want you all to tap on your thymus point. Go on tapping on your thymus point and say, change, changing, it is changed. From overthinking to being in balance. Change, changing, it is changed. From fear of failure to being taking action and being productive. Change, changing, it is changed. From fear to believing in the self, from low self-esteem to allowing myself to have high self-esteem. Change, changing, it is changed. From the trauma that is being stored in the body to letting it go, from being stuck in the trauma to being free from the trauma. Change, changing, it is change. From being cluttered to bring clarity and life. From wanting to be a people pleasing person to have clarity, believe in this self, and walk the path of the life. From lack of confidence to being confident. Change, changing, it is changed. From being in imbalanced state to being in balance. From ignoring my intuition to listening to my intuition. From the state where unable to execute my intuitive messages to taking step towards my intuitive messages, from being disconnected to my higher self to being allowing myself any disconnection and knowing that it is safe for me to connect to my higher self and connecting to my higher self now. Change, changing, it is changed. Change, changing, it is changed. From any need in me to overthink to thinking and making thought process my biggest asset, and being in balance, being at ease, in a relaxed state, confident, clear, balanced. Change, changing, it is changed. Put the hands on your chest. 7 deep breath. You can keep your hands down, keeping your eyes shut. You have the permission to download and instill the feelings into each one of you that you know what it feels like to be connected with your higher self and allowing the wisdom of the higher self guide you at every step in your life. So I know what it feels like to listen to my higher self, and I know what it feels like to walk the path of my life in balance and with balance, and that it is completely possible. I know what it feels like to be an action oriented person, and that it is completely possible to take actions in life. I know I'm deserving to be productive in life, and I understand being productive through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I know how to be productive, and that when to be productive, it is safe, it is possible, and I'm deserving to be productive, and I operate in my daily life being productive. I know what it feels like to allow my best potential to shine. And I know what it feels like to allow myself to let my actions match my purpose of life and allowing myself to fulfill my goals and being goal driven rather than being motivated by fears. I know what it feels like to be at peace and allowing my energies to be centered with myself, and that it is completely possible. I am in balance. I represent balance. I understand balance. Through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. I allow balance to reflect in every action, every area of my life. May that be in my verbal communication, may that be in my action, may that be in the major decisions that I take. I know how to execute and operate with balance, and that it is completely possible, and I choose that. I understand all this through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is, and I know how to do that with ease and grace. It is completely possible, and I make it a choice. I choose to live my daily life with the same into every cell of your body, every area of your life, at all the four level of your beliefs. For each one's highest and best, the highest and best possible way for each one. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to instill all these feelings into everyone who says yes now, in the language that they understand at the level of their readiness. For each one's highest and best, in the highest and best possible way for each one. Please say yes for whoever wants to receive these feelings. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. Creator, show me. Passing unconditional love, light, and healing to everyone. You all can open your eyes. Um, so from today onwards, the mantra in your life is just do it. by thinking, by constantly go on thinking, nothing happens. So my mantra in life is just do it. Some people think I over plan, I do it so much before time. But that has always helped me to grow in life. So I'm just sharing the secret of my success with you because I don't go on thinking, I just do it. And probably my team feels that like then I'm a taskmaster because I'm like, did you do that? Don't come back to me with your problems. You came back to me with your problems. I worked on you, but what did you do about it? If you have done nothing about it, even God cannot come down and can help you. So wherever there is a problem, and we all have problems, if something is not resonating with us, something is not working for us, but what did I do about it? So getting empowered with ourselves and taking action is all about doing it. So announcing with you all that if any one of you have still not registered, tomorrow our basic DNA to theta healing class is beginning. Basic DNA to theta healing is an absolutely powerful class. Whoever has done it can repeat it because there is overflow of information in that class. No matter what you have learned, it is very, very difficult for you to be able to remember it because those who have done can do it only at one-fourth the price. It's an internationally certified class, and I have never found anything better than theta healing to enhance your intuition. And apart from enhancing your intuition, being able to identify the blocked beliefs, being able to clear that, there is a lot of stuff which comes along with that, which is very, very helpful, or according to me, a must and needed for everyone to learn it. It's the basic education that is needed for you all. So just a reminder to you all, the workshop begins tomorrow. It is online and it will happen from afternoon 1 to 6. If anybody is a last minute entry also, you can call Mehak on 9819232223 and can still join at the last minute. Stop procrastinating, take charge in your life and do something about it. Or else we will just continue and I'll go on helping, but it is still because you are not taking action. And it's all about your life. It's not about my life. Just take action. Thank you all for joining and lots of gratitude. Yeah, Anisha is asking, man, what is from 10 to 1? No, Anusha, we will personally message you. It is from 1 to 6. We'll just message you, Anusha, personally. So thank you all for joining. Lots of gratitude. Have a wonderful day. See you all tomorrow, 9 a.m. Bye.